Hi, hey Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. I'm going to declare today to be casual YouTuber day. I'm wearing my other hat. It's a little bit tore up. That's why I kind of stopped wearing it. But it's so hot outside. I had to wear it. And of course, she's over there in her favorite spot. Whoop, there she is. In the window. That's her little kingdom. She loves sitting there. And that's what she's doing today. It's too hot even for her to be outside. So anyway, we're just kind of hiding here in the shop doing nothing together. So actually, I've been doing nothing for about 7 days. That's why you haven't seen any videos. I've been pretty lazy. So I thought I'd do a quick rambling Russ. And this is going to be about, I had this week, because I watched a lot more YouTube than usual, since I had been doing the other working. I actually had a couple of what I call encounters of the friendly kind. And the two channels, I just wanted to mention them. One of them, his name is George Russ, and I'm sorry, George, I can't pronounce your last name. But he has a great channel, just like mine, and he did a shout out about a couple of my projects, admiring and talking very nice about them. And thank you, George, I appreciate that. But I do wanted to say that we had a nice encounter back and forth, which is always nice to have when you're on YouTube, is to interact with other people now and then. But I do like his channel. I've been encountered back and forth with him before, and his channel is a lot like mine. He has, you never know what he's going to put out there, and some of it is pretty darn clever. So you should check out his channel if you don't know George. And quite honestly, I think you'll like it if you do, and probably end up being a subscriber too. I do have to say one thing. He is braver than I am, because he actually took a stab at pronouncing my name, even though I'm too big of a coward to mention his last name. But he called it just the way it was. He kept it, and I pronounce it vino, just like wine, vino. And the T is silent, like P in swimming. And he knew that when he pronounced my name. He actually pronounced it pretty good. And anyway, I do want to thank him for his kind words to me. And that was one of the friendly encounters that I had. The other encounter I had was with a guy named Andrew Reuter, and that's the name of his channel again. Apparently is his name. But his project this week caught my eye that he just put out, and it was about he took an old desk and he turned it into a miter saw workstation. Turned out pretty nice. I really liked it. But the theme of it, of taking an old desk and turning it into something in your shop useful, hit a chord with me, because as you know, I have a desk here that's become my workbench, and I talk about it once in a great while, and I did a video on it last year about what I was doing with it, and I've made some improvements on it, but that's what struck a chord with his channel, and we had a pretty good conversation back and forth about ideas about how to take an old desk and turn it into something useful in your shop. It's really a pretty cool idea is to do that, because you can buy it, you can get a desk sometimes for nothing if you look through Craigslist enough, but more than likely, even if you have to buy one, it's pretty cheap. And I'd love to take one myself for a project someday, and actually take a metal one and turn it into a workbench of some kind, or a shop card. But I'll take advantage of that metal sides and use magnets to do all sorts of different things on the side. I think that'd be kind of a cool project. So maybe someday I might, if I find the right desk, I might try to play with that and see how that comes out. So, but who knows what it would become. Anyway, I liked his idea. If you get a chance to watch that video, you should go watch it, because it really is a very clever idea, the way he did his so differently. The big difference between his and mine, though, which is the other thing I kind of want to ramble on about, is he put it up on casters so he could roll this miter station around. And that's a great idea for a miter station. My miter station is on wheels too. So, but as a workbench, I got to thinking about his being mobile, and I was thinking about my workbench, because again, I used the 2-pillar drawer unit type desk. It's a little bigger than that desk. It's an old antique desk. But I turned this into my workbench. And what's important about that is that when you beat on it, it doesn't vibrate. I can have my cup of coffee up here and it won't go traveling away as I'm working on something and fall off the edge. I've never had anything fall off this bench since I built it, which is really nice. If you have a good workbench, you don't have to worry about things falling off all the time when you're working on it, and all of a sudden the tool falls off the other end of the bench. I used to hate that. This bench doesn't do that. That's what I love about it. And that's because of the foundation. If you look at my little chart here, if you're looking down, straight down on the desk, you have 2 pillars with drawers in them, here, and a top across that, joining it all together. And then your legs go up under here. Well, in order to put this at the height I want for a workbench, which is generally 35, 36 inches, let's say, a desk usually is around 30 inches. So what I did is I just took the legs off completely, and I built the box the same size as the perimeter of the pillar on both sides to raise it up to the proper height with levelers. And then what I did is I put 4 levelers underneath on the bottom side of those boxes I built so that I could level this thing out. And I go through an exact procedure to level it out or to move it. To level it, I take these 4 inner ones and I raise them up so they're not touching. And then on the 4 outer ones, I level it to a perfect level with a level in all directions. When I'm happy with that, then I take a piece of paper and I turn these down until the paper won't move. Turn it back up, pull the paper out, and I turn the pedal down 1 full turn. And that gives me pretty even pressure at 8 points on the floor. And that does 2 things for you by doing that. If you're going to work on a workbench, you might as well not have it moving around or anything, and you double the amount of friction it takes to move that workbench on the floor. Instead of 4 points of contact moving, you now have 8. So it makes it harder to move it, which is what you want in a workbench, I would think. And the other thing it does is it transfers the vibration more by having 8 points of contact than if you have only 4. The amount of vibration the unit can have is more minimized. So I get less vibration on this desk dramatically than I would if I only used 4 points of contact instead on this bench. So if you build a bench, whether you use an old desk like I did, or you build one from scratch, it's this 8-point contact you want to pay attention to. But there is one drawback to this, theoretically, to this setup. And that is, if you do want to move it. Right now, the way I move this thing, because it weighs over 400 pounds, it's a pain in the butt. What I have to do is I unscrew these so they're not contacting the floor, and then I start pushing it one side or the other until I move it to where I want it. Very hard to do. It's really probably not good for the levelers. One of these days I'm going to tear one of them up this way. So I do want a better solution. So what I've decided is I don't want to give up my 8 points of contact. So what I think I'm going to do is have a focus system right here at both ends of my workbench. One at this end and one at this end. And I'm going to take something similar to a scissors jack and jack it up so that I can then quickly mount a caster on the corner here and here. Just mount it with 2 screw knobs or something simple but sturdy, so once it's mounted it ain't going nowhere. And then drop the scissors jack down, move to the other side, jack it up, and now I can put it up on 4 wheels to move it. That's the theory. So that's what I'm working on right now as far as what I'm doing with the bench. So I wanted to mention that this is it got me thinking about it when I watched how he did his and made it mobile, and it got me thinking about how I actually want to make this to be mobile, but most of the time it's not going to be moved. So if it takes me 10 minutes to move it and set it up, it's really not a big deal because I don't move it maybe once or twice a year at the most. And with this system, when I get done, if I really want, actually I think that I actually can leave it on the casters if I build it properly, so that once I put it on the casters I can lock them and leave in that condition and use it for a while. So like if I keep needing to move my bench because of whatever I have on it and to move it to get to different pieces or something, you never know. But it'd be nice to be able to make it when it can be mobile when I put the casters on it, and I could leave it on there if I want to. But at the same time, I want to be able to drop it down, give it the 8 points of contact, and be able to use it that way. So that's what I'm kind of looking at this point, is how to make it mobile, but yet at the same time make it really sturdy. So when I get that done, you'll see what it's like. But that's kind of got me started on that binge when I saw somebody else for the first time actually take a desk, and turn it into some kind of shop cart or some kind of shop cabinet. So I think that it's amazing because they're out there. You can buy them on Craigslist so cheap, or sometimes for nothing. You can grab these desks. They're a dime a dozen. So, but they're a great resource to turn it into, repurpose it into something very useful in your shop without spending any money, and that'd be nice. It's nice to have a good set of drawers in your shop, if nothing else. So they make great little starter cabinets, and you can build from there and build around it without any problem. So keep it in mind. I want to thank you for stopping by for Rambling Russ. It'd been a while since I put out a video, so I had to do something. And there ain't nothing more fun or easier than me doing a Rambling Russ. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. I hope you learned something here. If you like this video, say so. Most importantly, come back again, because I'm nowhere near done rambling or actually getting some of this stuff done that I want to do. Thanks, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye.